Hi, I'm Cynthia, and this is Winston. We're in Middle Sackville, Nova Scotia, and we're excited to watch the On Air with Dogs Naturally podcast. Who's a good boy?
Coming up on this episode of On Air with Dogs Naturally.
1 in 2 dogs, or 1 in 3, depending on the statistics you follow, are getting cancer now. Now that's absurd. That's absurd, and that's why it's time to take a cold, hard look at the habits that we have, the things we're doing with our pets, and put some common sense into the equation.
Dr. Deva Khalsa joins Rodney and Dana to talk about everything fleas and ticks. If only Rodney could get his act together.
I said he prips and preens like a teenage girl. I'm always waiting for him. Where's my husband? Shuffling around in his old man slippers. He's like, how's my hair? Is my hair okay?
It's this stupid cord. One is like 9 feet long and the other one is like half a millimeter long. This guy here. This is
What, these ones too? It's your head then. Your head's crooked.
No, Is my head crooked?
Seriously, Rodney, your head is fine. I'm not quite sure yet. Anyways, let's start the show.
Okay, so here we are talking about fleas and ticks, and I guess we need to talk about what the heck is going on the wall behind Rodney.
Well, yeah, I thought what would make the show wonderful is a full infestation today of fleas and ticks. You know, if you're going to go to sometimes, your veterinarian clinic and get freaked out by all the photos that are there, why not get freaked out on our show as well? So we've got fleas and ticks everywhere. In fact, there's my little guy, Scribbles. People don't know I have a cat. I do have a cat too, by the way. Deva, you know what? I'll start it off and ask it quick because I get this question all the time. And, if I go into my veterinarian and there's all these wonderful graphic pictures all over the walls in the vet where I want to have a heart attack with worms sticking out of hearts. And then they show these big parasites like on the back of my wall here, all the different types of fleas and ticks, but you're always, you're told things like Lyme disease, tick paralysis, relapsing fever, typhus, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Colorado tick fever, babsiosis, flea-borne typhus, tapeworm, cat scratch fever. I can go on and on. Should I be giving my pet all these different types of pesticides and you name it to avoid all these type of things?
Well, people pay advertisers to be effective, and that's pretty effective advertising. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I would look at it, would scare me too. And if I wasn't a veterinarian and I didn't see dogs and cats coming into me every day and look at their lifestyles, look at the chance of them actually getting these problems, getting ticks, getting fleas, and also if I didn't know sane methods of preventing this that are not toxic, I would fall into that same fear that most people do when they see pictures like that, because it is scary. In 30 years of practice in veterinary medicine, I've come down to 2 issues which I feel have the greatest detrimental effect on our pets' health. One is we're overloading them with toxins. And if you don't feed your dog quality food and fresh foods, and some degree of fresh foods, lightly cooked, however, and vitamins and minerals, you're not giving them the tools they need to stay healthy. So this toxic overload comes into play. There's all these studies on the side effects of all these products. And yet we continue to use them because the advertising, as you mentioned so aptly before, is so good, it just cons us. And we think there's no other way. And there are other ways. And that's the purpose of our conversation right here.
But I think most people understand that these products are dangerous, but they don't see a way out. They think, yes, the product's dangerous, but oh my gosh, I don't want my dog to get Lyme disease, or oh my gosh, my dog is crawling with fleas, is going to become anemic and die because of this. So is it possible to not have fleas and ticks, in your opinion, without these toxic products?
Absolutely. And there's a number of avenues that one can approach to make this occur. For instance, garlic is a natural antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. If you chop it up really fine and let it sit for 10 minutes, a very special chemical reaction occurs that releases this compound that's much more effective, even fights cancer. When you give your dog a little bit of chopped whole, fresh garlic every day, you're building the immune system and you're giving them an everyday antibiotic. So if he's bit by a tick and you don't find it within 24 hours, the chance of him fighting off any diseases are much higher. And additionally, garlic, if you wash with non-detergent shampoo, because detergent shampoo strip the oil in the coat, if you give it every day, it helps prevent the fleas and the ticks from dropping on your dog. So garlic is great and it works in a number of ways.
Dava, I think this bears mentioning while we're on the topic of garlic, because you did write that article for us, and what we get a lot of what a flack on the website is people saying, "Oh, garlic, it's toxic for dogs. It causes anemia." Right? I really think we should take this opportunity to clarify that for people, just how much garlic they would need to eat.
Well, it's on every single site. You can't go anywhere on the web and not see these infomercials and everything with garlic everywhere, and don't give that to your animal.
Yeah. Right, that's why I wrote the article, because I talked to the National Animal Supplement Council, where all the adverse reports are given. And Bill is a friend of mine. And he was irate over the fact that garlic has gotten such bad press. Garlic has been used for thousands and thousands of years. And this bad rap is because the FDA did a study in which they fed dogs the equivalent of 70, a golden retriever sized dog. So we have a size, the equivalent of 75 to 150 cloves of garlic per meal. Now, you can die from drinking too much water. I don't know if you know that, but you actually can. So you certainly can have a lethal dose of garlic, right? But the thing is that, giving 1 clove a day to a large dog, 2 cloves a day to a large dog, 1 small clove to a small dog, all that does is build their immune system and help them fight cancer, help them fight parasites, and help them be healthier. It's not a problem. It's a matter of common sense. The thing to do, though, is almost have a list and fill out a form, like, what is your dog's lifestyle? How often does he go someplace where he's even exposed to fleas and ticks? Do you really need this? Is there a time of year where things are really worse and you have to be more proactive? And then you decide, what are you going to do? And the collar is a good idea because in many cases it really works. Again, and whatever you can do to prevent them that's natural, you do. And then you watch how that plays out. You don't just run to the spot-on products and the toxic sprays. And there's a whole plethora of it. Stores are filled with it now, and they're all the same. And because fleas and ticks, by the way, are getting more resistant to these products, they're getting more resistant to the fipronil. They're adding more and putting a more concentrated product in, and then adding other toxic products in addition to product number 1 to increase the efficacy. And so this is what's happening right now. It's been happening for the past few years. It's only going to get worse. So it's totally time for people to sit there and figure out how they can go natural and keep their dog safe at the same time.
I think especially for people with young kids in the house, because those products are neurotoxins. And if I had a young child, I would not. Yeah.
And fipronil, when it's exposed to sunlight, becomes 10 times more potent and 10 times more toxic. So there's your dachshund. You've just put the fipronil on him. He's outside lying in the sun, and your 2-year-old daughter is snuggling with him and rubbing her fingers all where you put the product. She's getting it right into her system. Yeah, absolutely. And I was always very careful, even when I thought this stuff was safer than I do now. Pregnant women, stay away. Never put it on your dog. Right. And your fingers are touching it. No matter what, you're getting it on you too.
And I guess it follows that young dogs, puppies would be a lot more sensitive to it too, because, they're developing neural systems.
Right. And certain breeds too. Really, certain breeds don't have the immune system and the wherewithal to fight off toxins or disease like other breeds do, particularly the white dogs, the white recessive gene dogs. Yeah.
David, some of these natural things that are out there, I know I was talking about this to Dana before. In my hand here is, I don't know if you can see that if I zoom into it, diatomaceous earth.
I think it works very, very well. It does make your house sort of dusty, but I think it works great as far as getting rid of fleas and ticks. And, the thing is to keep it simple and keep it effective. Okay, and then we were also talking about a collar that helped prevent them.
The Baltic Amber collars that I've got on my dogs.
It's pretty too. Yeah, amber collars, I've been recommending them, and I'm excited because I think they're a very good alternative, and they work with ticks, which is important. The thing to do is prevent your dogs from getting fleas and ticks. That's where you start, and you don't have to use the spot-on products to do that. You can simply start to use this collar, see if it works. There are people who use a product called Ticked Off, which works very well for fleas and ticks. They spray it on before a walk or a couple of times a week. It works in the house. You can use diatomaceous earth on your dog, not in the house, just to help prevent fleas and ticks. And then you watch. And then look at your dog's lifestyle. Does your dog go to a park where everyone takes care of their dogs? Do you have 3 Maltese that you let out in your huge backyard? They play and they come back inside. A lot of the dog owners that have 3 tiny dogs that stay at home all the time and are very happy to do so put Spot On product on every single month because they love their dogs and they've been feared into it. I mean, that's a very, they've been feared into it.
Absolutely.
So look at your dog's lifestyle. Then sometimes there are, and see if they get fleas and ticks in the first place. Before you start worrying about thousands of things to do, see if they get it. But you have to sort of find an answer that is the least toxic, the most effective, and the most sane.
So you gave us an awesome idea last time on our In the Dish podcast with this really cool remedy that we ended up actually making a little cartoon graphic out of. I got to send that to you and show you what we did. But it was a super cool method with a cap and some alcohol. And if you could tell me a little bit more about it, how that works.
Well, that's actually what's recommended for people, how to remove tick from a person, because a lot of people try to burn them off, which doesn't work very well. When you pull them off, the head can stay in your skin or the animal skin, and that doesn't work. So this is a recommended way to remove ticks from the Lyme Control Board for human beings, and it works just as well for pets. You just put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in the cap of the bottle, invert it, hold it tightly over the tick, pressing against the dog's skin through the fur, and after you wait anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds, the tick releases. He's swimming in that little cap, you pull him off, and you're all done. The area is clean, it's disinfected, the tick is gone, you've gotten your job done. And I like it because that surface area where the tick has bitten into, the alcohol actually disinfects a bit, which I think it would help.
And do we have to worry anything about like that regurgitation thing that I've read in some areas of people writing and literature and stuff like that?
That when you put alcohol in the tick, it regurgitates?
Right.
No one has written about that in human literature, but there's maybe a YouTube video of somebody with a tiny little aquatic camera watching a flea vomit in the cap. And if they can show me that, I'll believe it.
Okay.
We have a little tick that didn't really get killed, and it says, I almost died, and I vomited first.
Deva, it was awesome information today, and there's going to be people that are going to be looking around for more of your stuff. I have your book here that I'm a huge fan of. I've actually given this to a lot of people that, wanted to make their own diets and start feeding fresh foods to people. And if people want to be able to get more information, where's the best place for them to go?
My website, which is www.drdeva.com. That's doctor spelled out, D-O-C-T-O-R. My first name, Deva, which is D-E-V-A.com. I've got 32 YouTube videos, lots of free pet health advice, holistic health advice. It's a wealth of information, and it's easy to use. There's lots of little icons that you can click, and everyone is welcome to all of my free information.
Can I get my book? Can I get this book off your website as well? Like the best spot to get it, or?
Amazon.com is usually best. It's going into its second edition in 2015, and Amazon.com always has it. It's probably the best buy, really.
Well, there you go, Deva Khalsa.
Yeah, Deva, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a pleasure as usual. I want to have you back, and let's talk about heartworm sometime soon, Rod?
Absolutely, let's talk about heartworm.
I look forward to it. You guys are great. It was really fun.
Thanks, Deva. Deva's now gone, and it's just you and I rounding the show up. I was super excited to have her. I would love to have her back again. It was awesome. There was a lot of information. I think there was a small part where it got a little bit sciencey, right? But we need that, right? Because I think our viewers are going to be far, and they're going to be vast, and there's going to be doctors, and there's going to be first-time pet owners. But we needed, it's good to hear something like that from another different spectrum. I mean, you and I, we've got our views on things, but to hear Deva say it, it's completely different.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I want to point out is that there's going to be show notes on this show. So a lot of what Dr. Deva talked about, we'll have some nice little notes for you to follow along. So if you go to dogsnaturallymagazine.com/Dr-Deva, you can see those show notes. Let me spell it out for you. dogsnaturallymagazine.com/DR-DEVA. And that's going to take you to the show notes. Oh, I should also point out, too, for those that are interested in Lyme disease, while we're on the topic of ticks, I'm going to have a link on there because we do have a free Lyme disease ebook that Dr. Deva has contributed to, and that's going to be available for everybody in the show notes as well.
You know what? Thanks for everybody who tuned in, and I hope you enjoyed listening to Dr. Deva. And I'm excited to get more guests and other people, and I'm even more excited just to talk one-on-one with you, Dana.
Absolutely. And we have Marty Goldstein coming up soon, don't we?
Dr. Marty, man, he's next.
Yeah, Dr. Marty. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, Rodney, it's great working with you, and it's great working with everybody out there and having them listen to us. Kevin, don't edit out the part about Rodney being unprepared.
Yeah,
he needs to hear it.
Good. Yes, I found. You know what? I opened up 5 different Nokia boxes. 5. Oh, thank you so much.
No, that is not your headphones now.
Yeah, that's my blogger Lee's, who just brought me my headphones. Yeah, say hi to Dana, Lee's.
Just in the nick of time.
And the
hey, great timing.
And the apology for taking my headphones. But you know what? Even these. No. See, these are even length, right? See, that's how you make headphones even length. And this, whatever this is, look at this. Look at the length difference. You can't even see the length difference. Ugh.